Hello team, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. So today I want us to talk about value, the personal value you give. And I want to attach something known as positioning yourself for excellence. So my question is, what do people make of you by having the first impression? What do you make people to think about? What do you make people see in you when you meet them at the first instance? Are you the guy who appears as a second-rate guy? Or are you somebody who, when people meet, they say, now, this is what I needed as a solution? So how do you package yourself? How do you present yourself? And maybe, to do an icebreaker, when you go to a function, are you the guy who are directed to sit down at the front? Or you are the guy who is sent back to the kitchen to serve visitors? This depends on the value you give out to people. Number one, do you know your value? Do you know your worth? Because we say that lack of knowledge is what kills very many people. So do you know the exact value you possess as an individual? I need you to inquire yourself. I need you to have an introspection. I need you to have a meeting where you chair and ask yourself, what is your exact worth? So that you avoid being the second rate where you should be the first rate. You avoid going back to the back bench when you are needed at the front to make decisions. Number two, are you developing this particular value? It doesn't make sense for you to just see yourself as valuable, yet you actually do not possess this particular value, because you'll just be like a car tube. When you're just pricked, boom, you are gone. Ensure you exactly possess this value by packaging yourself, or what is called positioning yourself for excellence. So we have talked about one, knowing the value you possess. Two, we have talked about developing the value you have or you think you are worth, so that you actually have and you can be able to sustain, because sustainability is king. Now, the last presentation I want to make to you today about value is, do you actually present the value? First impression is a lasting impression. You may not have the chance to correct the way you presented yourself in the first meeting. So how do you present yourself? Do you present yourself in a way that matches exactly what you are worth? Look at this. You have a salesperson who has a very good product, but he doesn't know how to bring out the actual value in this particular product. What might happen? The customer might not realize what he or she is missing and why he should put value or money or investment in this particular product. So when you go out there, ensure that you are presenting yourself in a manner that makes your customer, makes your client, take everybody as a customer or a client to know that this is what I wanted. This is a solution. So number one, do you have a pitch? Do you have a pitching idea? If you are given 1 minute, not everyone will give you 20-30 minutes of their time. If you are given 1 to 2 minutes, will you be able to present the value you have to any person? Think about that. What will be your opening line? How do you glad yourself? How do you have your mental discussion? When people engage you in discussions, can you be able to sustain an intellectual conversation? Can you be able to sustain a conversation depending in what, let's say, the prospect or what field you are into? Ensure you are presenting yourself, one, the way you wear, the way you behave, because that matters most. In fact, in interviews, funny enough, people will judge you the way you behave, the way you present yourself, because they don't have the opportunity for you to actually present. So number one, open up in a way that will present the value. Number two, sustain. Ensure that whenever you are going, ensure you are able to sustain. And closing, ensure you leave when the value is still important. Remember, when you overdo it, it messes everything. So know when to leave and know how to leave, because your closing will determine if you close that particular sale or you flop it. So today, that marks our discussion. Thank you and enjoy yourself. If you have not subscribed, kindly do so. Asante sana.